Hello friends, happy Halloween. By the time you see this, Halloween will be over. But I've changed my table again to make a Halloween tea party. This is something I do every year. And what my snack of choice is these scary bites from Greggs. If you're not in the UK, Greggs is a very famous bakery in the UK. And they make all sorts of cakes and savoury treats that people love. And yeah, it's a kind of Halloween tradition of mine that I have a tea party with Greg's Spooky Bites. And here's my lovely friend. I think his name is Albie. I rescued him at a car boot sale. I opened up a bin to put away rubbish and he was sitting in the bin, so I pulled him out. And he has a little cape here and he has a little wizard hat that I got him today in a charity shop because I've lost his actual hat. Phew, I'm going to sit down. This is lovely. Oh, by the way, if you remember my strange black vase, I think the secret to it is just to have one red rose. I think that's very nice there. Should be an orange rose because it's Halloween, but still a red rose is very dramatic. So, I'm going to sit down. Got on my purple jumper again today. I think for my first sort of spooky autumnal video this year, I had on this purple jumper. And it feels like a kind of full circle. I was really naughty and I bought this Mickey and Minnie Halloween mug in Morrison's, I believe. I mean, it's almost Halloween, so I won't get to use it very much. And then I went to a charity shop and I found a Disney Halloween plate. It's just a plastic plate, but I thought that was so cute. So there you go. I think with all my watching videos about Disneyland and Disney World, I've manifested a bit of Disney into my table. Okay, I'm gonna choose a cake. This one's got a bit smooshy looking. I think it's supposed to be a bat. I think I'll have that one. Okay, I'll be back in a minute. Well, hello friends. My goodness, we're finally here, almost at Halloween. It is quite true that every year I do an autumn tea party, hopefully with some friends or family, but today I happen to be on my own. I think a lot of people are working, but it's fine. I mean, I wanted to make this vlog and I think having a Halloween tea party is very, very cozy and nice. I feel really grateful to just be here in my house and to be able to arrange something nice like this. I did have a tea party last year. Even though I was moving house, I sat down, I had some tea, some Greg's Bites. These little cakes are absolutely gorgeous. And I did do it, and it was a nice thing to do. But this is the first time in my own house that I've done this. This little bear that I told you I got at the car boot sale, this chair, I went to the recycling centre one day with some stuff and this little chair was being thrown into the skip for the crusher and I just pulled it out again. It's a really sweet little chair. I mean, it's a bit battered, but I mean, the man who had brought it saw me take it out and he said he'd offered it to charity shops and they didn't want it. Interesting. One man's treasure is another man's junk. I've definitely not had a kind of teddy bears party at Halloween before. So there you go. That's nice. Now I look at it. This table is a bit too cluttered. I've got my fairy pumpkin houses and I've also got a lot of candles and I've got some real little pumpkins now. I got some kind of munchkin pumpkins and I put out my velveteen pumpkins again. I didn't light my incense, I meant to. Oh well, can do that tonight. It's just all very, very cozy and really nice. So with Halloween coming up at the end of this week, obviously this is my first time having Halloween in this house. I've got no idea how many trick-or-treaters I'll get. I don't know how much candy to get. I'll probably err on the side of caution. I'll get, maybe 2 or 3 or 4 tubs of candy. And then if I don't get enough children coming, I can maybe hand it over to friends or, take it to work or something. Usually most people appreciate a little chewy sweet or something. It's as I've told you now ad nauseam in my Halloween videos, I love Halloween. but I found out recently that it's a part of a 3-day thing. In the Roman Catholic Church, Halloween is in a sort of triple setting with All Saints' Day, the day after Halloween on November the 1st, and then All Souls' Day on November the 2nd. And All Saints' Day, I think, is for saints of the Catholic Church, very holy people who've died for their Christian beliefs. All Souls' Day is a day to remember people who've passed away. And that's something I'm going to try and do in this video. It won't only be about Halloween. I've thought about All Souls' Day before. And as you may know, I love angels and angel-related things. So I do have sort of sometimes made collages of angel cards and things and sayings about angels from the Bible. But I think on November 1st and 2nd, in this video, I'll show you how to celebrate Saints and Souls Day as far as I understand it. And I'm in the Church of Scotland, so I'm not Roman Catholic Church. But that's what I will also try and do. So I just feel I get awfully rambly in these bits, and I'm sorry. Oh yes, I don't think you saw this. I've got a new little violet fairy. She's not really Halloweeny, except I suppose the purple is a bit Halloweeny anyway. She's on the table too. I wonder if you can see that by candlelight. I have my own Haunted Mansion plaque. A few years ago when I was in my old house, I saw this on, I think Etsy or something. And I love Haunted Mansion, and I bought it, but for one reason and another, I never put it up when I was selling my house to move. So this year I've put it up, and I'm just very pleased. Enough of the spooks. I think I'm going to put the light on so you can see it. Okay. Yeah, that's good. And perhaps if this year I can get myself organized, this can truly feel a bit more like a mansion and a bit less like me being in a confusion and a pickle all the time. Anyway, thank you, Haunted Mansion plaque. You are super. Another little thing that means a lot to me. It's just so peaceful. I think tonight I might watch one of the Annabelle movies. Yeah, might do. We'll see. I've not seen them for ages. Okay. Hello friends, good morning. I'm here in my main bedroom, and I thought today, in preparation for Saints and Souls Day, I'd unpack some of my angel cards and Bible quotations that I used to have on my sort of angel pinboard. So I thought we'd just do that quickly. I didn't end up watching the Annabelle movie last night. Although they're really, really well-made horror movies, they just are a bit scary and I couldn't quite get into it. But maybe tonight. I ended up last night just watching YouTube. So let's turn the camera around and I'll show you my angel things and my pinboard. Okay. Here, friends, is my pinboard that I used to have up in my old house. Here's some of my angel items in a folder which I've just found. So that's lovely. That survived the house move. I'll just open up the pouch. Okay, well, this is something I'd forgotten. A number of years ago I did an embroidery saying All Saints, because I was getting interested in All Saints Day even then, but I don't think I could do much about it, or apart from this pinboard. And here, I have one of my mum's favourite hymns, the Old Rugged Cross, which is lovely. Okay. Well, I've kind of put everything onto the pinboard, I think. I'll go around it a little bit. This is a very pretty card, which I've actually got two of, and it says, Angel of God, my guardian dear, to whom his love commits me here, ever this day be at my side, to light and guard, to rule and guide. Amen. So I must find a place for this too. And then I also have something from Canterbury Cathedral. I visited there, ironically, when I was making a horror movie. It says, lighting a candle is a prayer. When we have gone, it stays alight, kindling in the hearts and minds of others the prayers we have already offered for the sick, the suffering, for those who have died, for the peace of the world, for ourselves, and the prayers of thankfulness too. Okay, and there's a prayer about Thomas Becket. Canterbury Cathedral was beautiful. I must say, when I see candles flickering in a cathedral or a church, it is very comforting. It does look very special and very very serene and comforting. Just that little light flickering. Okay. Yes, so here, as we said, was St. Clara. Here is a saint called St. Gerard Mayella. I remember I bought this in a charity shop in Glasgow many years ago. I just thought it was really very pretty the way they'd arranged the saints' cards. Saints' cards are so pretty that they are, they're very easy to look at. I mean, as a visual person, I love them. And then here we have, the old has passed away, behold, the new has come, Corinthians. If anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. So I guess that means you can start again, even if you've made errors and been a bad person. Jesus can make you anew. Here we have another card of St. Michael and one of St. Francis of Assisi, who obviously loved animals. And we have one from St. Devote. I remember I bought that in Monaco. I went to the chapel of St. Devote in Monaco. I'd always read about Princess Grace, of Monaco, and how she loved St. Devote because obviously she was Monegasque, and St. Devote is the Monegasque saint. And here we have the 10 Commandments. And my goodness, there's a picture an imagined picture of Jesus here. It's very difficult to kind of think of portraying Jesus as a real person whose his love and kindness are so encompassing. How can an artist really convey it? But I suppose it's an effort. And here's a decoupaged angel that I did once. And it's that's what I've got so far. I have more, but that's what I found so far in my mood. It's not strictly Halloweeny. Oh, my poor old ghost is behind the tree, but the rain is quite powerful. It's a gloomy day. Hi, Cookie. Just a second, Cookie. Hello, Cookie. The vet was very pleased with Cookie because he's put on 100 grams and his glucose levels are improved. So that's really good. What a relief. Okay. We just got back from the vet actually, so we were very lucky to miss this rain. We'd have got soaked. Okay, right. Well, friends, if you are a fan of this channel and you've been following my videos, you'll know this is my infamous Halloween countdown calendar in my front hall. It's supposed to be a Nightmare Before Christmas Halloween countdown calendar, but actually all you're getting is these little plastic kind of things which have no relation to it at all. I mean, they are Halloweeny. So as I said before, I think it's a kind of pirated thing. But it was very cheap, so I'm not, incandescent with rage or anything. In the last week, the last 4, I think, have had nothing in them because the contents have slid down into other cavities. But we did get another pumpkin and another 2 of these sort of ghost facey things since the last time. So now, basically, there are 4 more days to Halloween. So I will maybe try every day to come quickly and undo the last 4. But all in all, if you were planning to get this countdown calendar for your children because they love Nightmare Before Christmas as a sort of advent calendar, I wouldn't get it unless you really think they'll be happy with these little things. There's nothing like Sally or Jack Skellington or anything. Anyway, so just that's today. Okay, almost Halloween. Well, hello friends. I'm in my kitchen. I'm going to make my cream of pumpkin soup. I've got everything that the BBC recipe recommended, but when I went to the very end of the recipe, I noticed that what they said was, let me turn around the camera. They said that these jack-o'-lantern pumpkins are actually not good for making soup, but they're rather watery, and I should have got a butternut squash instead. So here is my recipe keeper book. I think I have now got it at the right place. Yes. So I didn't have to keep looking at my phone or tablet. I have copied the entire BBC pumpkin soup recipe. into my book, and that's actually the first time I've done this with my recipe keeper. So there you go. YouTube's got me to actually use this properly. Basically, you need to have your pumpkin, a large onion, 2 carrots, a medium potato, garlic cloves, got my garlic there. You need a bay leaf, and you need butter, unsalted butter, olive oil, I've got that over on the side. And you need some stock, and the double cream, I've got that in the fridge. And then you also need some pumpkin seeds, which I shall be harvesting from the pumpkin. So yeah, and you need salt and black pepper. So I will now chop up and cut up these items so they're ready to go, and then I'll come back to you. Okay. Okay, friends, here we have my humongous big pot, and I will just bring over all the first ingredients that the BBC recipe says. So that is, ooh, it's not all going down, sorry. Ew. So that's the carrots, the onion, the garlic, the butter, and the bay leaf. That's all gone in. You probably didn't see it. That's all there, plus the olive oil. So I'm just going to now heat this up gently to a simmer and cook that for 10 minutes. So I'll be back in a minute. Okay. Okay, friends. Well, there's that lovely smell of frying onions already. Nothing like it in the world. It's an awfully big pot. My mum bought this pot, but I felt I should use it. You know, my other pots are kind of a bit on the smaller side. So anyway, I will keep pushing around the vegetables in the butter and the oil, and in 10 minutes, see how we're doing. Okie dokie. Okay, friends, now I am adding my pumpkin and potato. So put that into the mix too. I won't lie, I found getting the pumpkin off the rind quite difficult. Yes, indeed I did. I don't think I've chopped up that potato. Good, I'm absolutely crazy. Let me get it out again. Okay, that's a new one. I've never seen anyone not chop up a potato for a recipe. Okay, well, it's making a lovely smell anyway. I think this will be a hearty soup. It will be quite nice. Right, maybe I should have chopped up the pumpkin a bit more. However, it's going to be in the blender anyway, so I won't worry too much. Okay, right, fantastic. Okay, friends, now I have here some Potts chicken stock. There we go, I'll just pour that in. Okay, that really is smelling nice. So, I mean, that stock was just in the fridge. It's not hot at all. So now it all has to be brought to the boil. So I shall do that. And maybe I should add a little bit more stock too. Maybe that's not quite enough. Okay, right, back in a second. Okay, that looks a healthier amount of stock there. So it is now starting to boil up. And when it does boil up, I've got to reduce the heat and then simmer for about 40 minutes, and then it will all be blended. So when it's bubbling just a little bit more, I will reduce the heat and do my simmering. Okay, now the pot lid wouldn't sit half on. This is the most I can sit it off without it falling down. So I hope that's okay, and I hope my simmer is okay. And now I'm going to turn my attention to the pumpkin seeds. So I'm going to need to fry up 3 tablespoons of these pumpkin seeds to go with the soup. And the rest I thought I would try and roast. Everybody on YouTube seems to be roasting their pumpkin seeds at the moment, and I don't see why I should be left out. So I bought some paprika to season the roasted pumpkin seeds with. And so now I better clean off these the sort of gloopy bits and get just the bare seeds and get ready for the frying and the roasting. Okay, I have 40 minutes. Okay, I've kind of cleaned off my pumpkin seeds and taken the strings away. So I'm just reserving 3 tablespoons for this recipe. Those are going to be fried up. And then the rest I can roast. So I'll get my roasting tray and add the stuff, and I'll be back in a second. Okay friends, while I'm trying to sort of dry these out in a paper towel. Gosh, they're very wet. Okay. Ew. Okay, right. I'll try and okay, right. I have here some olive oil. Put that on there. Probably far too much. I will put on some paprika. They suggest using garlic powder as well, but although I saw that at the supermarket, I didn't think to buy any. So there you go. This will sort of have to do. And I've now got the oven heating up. So I will maybe put on a little bit more paprika. Cayenne pepper is the really hot one. Paprika is not so bad. Okay. Okay, I will now put that in the oven and we'll see how they look in a while. Hello again friends, a little update. My soup is smelling really nice. Apparently I have to have the roasted pumpkin seeds in the oven for 15 minutes and stir them in about 7 minutes. So I think I know on the timer where that's going to be. I'll go and stir them around. Hopefully that will work. I can't believe how many Halloweens I have intended to make roast pumpkin seeds and I've just never done it. I have to say, I think that the tip the BBC gave about roasting the pumpkin is an excellent tip because it is really quite difficult to slice the pumpkin flesh off the rind. So that's a good tip. In future I will be roasting my pumpkins, not trying to get them off the rind. Okay, right, see what happens next. Well, there you go, roasted pumpkin seeds. It's only taken me years and years. And pretty soon I can blend up the soup as well. So I shall come back to you in 1 second. Let these cool down. Okay friends, well I definitely think those are cooked. I mean, I think the potato's so soft it's possibly overcooked. So now I have to pick out the bay leaf, which is going to be quite easy. And I don't know where my stick blender is still. I've got to find it. So I will be ladling these vegetables into the Magimix and blend them up, and hopefully I will have some delicious pumpkin soup. Okay, plum. And another one. Okay, right. Must say it looks very kind of wintry and hearty. I'll come back in a second. Oops. Okay, that's pretty good. I'll put it back into the pot and have a taste. Okay. I'm going to be honest, that tastes absolutely delicious. I'm either a genius or I'm very lucky. So I'll quickly fry up those 3 tablespoons of pumpkin seeds now, and I'm going to be having some lovely pumpkin soup. Delicious. Yummy. So I have to fry these until they start to pop. Hopefully that will be pretty quick. Nothing happening yet. Okay, well, when I've finished, I will show you the finished result of my soup. Okay. Okay, so, I mean, nothing's really popping. I thought they'd start jumping about in the pan, but they're not. I mean, if they're not ready, I don't want to take them off. Oh, there was something that moved there. You know, maybe that's enough. Maybe that's enough. So here we are. I've got my candles on. And I'm actually going to watch me on YouTube and see how I did in a previous video. There you go. Okay. See you later, friends. Well, friends, it's Halloween week and I'm outside just filming my spooky decals from the outside because this time next week, obviously, they'll all be taken down. And they're nice. I'm going to go to the other side of the other window. That's just more sort of the autumn leaves. So that's nice too. I feel I might leave the autumn leaves up actually till until it stops being cold because they're not Halloweeny and it is winter. I'll think about that. Okay. Hello friends, it's this point of the video where I will tell you what I thought of some of the spooky movies I've been watching in the last week or so. I can hardly believe this time next week Halloween will be over. I will have taken down my Halloween decorations and my plushies and everything and it will all be over. Yeah, anyway, I'll probably still keep watching spooky movies, but there you go. This is the time for it. So last night, what I was looking at was Daughter of Darkness with Mia Sara. You will probably have seen her in Ferris Bueller's Day Off and Anthony Perkins from Psycho. And this is a made-for-television movie from 1990, and it's all about how Mia Sara's dad is a vampire, and she is drawn to Transylvania, to Romania, to try and find him and find out the mystery of her family. And a lot happens more than that, but it's just, it's a really nice movie. Mia Sara is beautiful. She's a very good actress. The clothes are very kind of 90s and, you know, I remember those kind of fashions. And I really like this movie and every so often I watch it. So I recommend Daughter of Darkness. If you like Psycho, it's another good role for Anthony Perkins and Mia Sara is super and indeed all the actors are good. Also, you may have seen in my last video, I was watching Ghost Train. This was from a play that was written by Arnold Ridley. If you're in the UK, you may know Dad's Army, the TV comedy. There was an actor in that called, I'm sure, yes, Arnold Ridley, and he wrote The Ghost Train and a number of other plays, none of which are so well known now, though they are performed sometimes. But Ghost Train was a real hit, and they made it into a black and white movie in the 1950s, I think. And I think it was filmed at Lime Grove Studios in Shepherd's Bush. You know, if you're a Londoner, you'll know where Shepherd's Bush is, but that's all been demolished now. And Ghost Train is a super movie. It's a really good one. I mean, I think, you know, from about 9 or 10 years of age, you could watch Ghost Train. It is a little bit spooky, but it's got lots of laughs. And this Arthur Askey, he is a kind of, if you've ever watched Ghost Train as a stage play, which I had seen it. This Arthur Askey comedy character is not in the stage play. They put him into the movie as a kind of extra bonus, and he is funny. He's very much got an old style variety humor, so it's really like seeing someone a bit from the music halls, which is an added thing, and it's a good story. I like Ghost Train, and it was lovely to watch this beautiful old black and white movie. So I recommend Ghost Train. I also saw Ghostwood, which is an indie Irish horror movie, very kind of slightly more mystical, and it's all about a wood that's haunted and what happened in ancient times in the wood and how it relates to people that are there now. And it also stars Patrick Bergin from the Julia Roberts movie Sleeping with the Enemy, so it's very interesting to see him in a different role. It's, again, I think it was made in like 2000, so it's quite an old one now. It's got charm, and it's partly filmed in New York. As an indie film actress, I'm always curious to see what indie movie makers do with the resources that they have, because obviously it's less than a big studio movie would have. So Ghostwood was really nice. Yeah, it was interesting. I mean, to say, if you're interested in Irish movies, it's got a very Irish flavour. And yeah, more mystical than a lot of horror films, but very interesting, and I enjoyed it. I have one more. I'll come back in a second. Okay, here I am. It's this one called The Amityville Haunting. Now, you may have heard that in Amityville in America, there was a really horrible mass murder in the 1970s, and that then in later years another family moved in and they had a lot of supernatural hauntings and sort of very upsetting activity when they tried to live in the house, and they left after a couple of weeks. I think since then, ooh, the light keeps changing, it's spooky. Other families have lived in this house and they've had no problems. So there you go. This is called the Amityville Haunting, and it's about another family who move into the house and have kind of paranormal experiences, and it's all based on found footage like CCTV cameras and also the camcorder footage of the teenage son of the family. A lot of horror movies put the name Amityville in the title because it's such a horror sort of staple that many fans will buy any DVD with Amityville in it because they're just curious to see what they say. I myself have been an Amityville Scarecrow 1 and 2, playing a lead role. In the first one I had a bigger part, in the second one I still had a pretty good part. So it was also set like in a campground near Amityville. And it also was kind of a tie-in. And I loved being in that movie, although of course I'm sad that Amityville has got sad associations and there was real tragedy there. I would say this one is it's worth a look, but it's a strange thing with found footage things. I think with Blair Witch Project people try to do this a lot and it's a bit hit and miss. For example, what I would say is with horror, I am a horror film actress, and you have to keep it real and you have to keep the audience with you and kind of build it up. Like for example, in this movie, a couple of quite young, healthy people suddenly die and there's no warning, there's no preparation. Indeed, in one of the cases, you don't even see them die. They just open a door and this young woman is lying there dead. And I don't know, it just is sort of like, I couldn't go with it. I couldn't believe it. And with horror, you have to believe it. I mean, it's worth a look, and I did enjoy it. The actors all did exactly what they were asked. Everyone did as they were asked, and there were some good moments. But I would ultimately say that found footage it's a bit hit or miss. It can be fantastic, or it can be not quite working. And as I say, it didn't quite keep me with the plot, what they were doing here. But if you like Amityville and are interested in it, have a look, and you maybe have already even seen it, because if you're someone who's a fan, you have all these movies. So I think that's probably all that I've seen in the last week. I must say I've got a bit horror filmed out, and one night I watched Priscilla, the Netflix movie about Priscilla Presley and Elvis, which is not a horror movie, though it is kind of sad and a drama. Sorry, my eye's a bit funny. Ugh. Okay. It was really impressive movie, really enjoyed it. And another night I watched a Netflix documentary about the Philadelphia mob, which is kind of horrifying, though it's not a horror movie. It's funny. I mean, I enjoy Halloween, I enjoy horror movies, but I think after a whole kind of month of watching horror-based things every night, even like the child-based ones I've told you about and stuff, you eventually just want something a bit more real and a bit more down to earth. Strange thing. Anyway, that's my horror film thoughts for this week. Okay. Hello friends, well, I'm a bit fortified by my soup, and I thought I would invite you on a trip down memory lane. This book, Gobelino the Witch's Cat, was the first paperback book I ever got at school, and I was very, very proud of it. This isn't the exact copy that I had. I can't find my exact copy, so I found this one in a charity shop, and it all just reminded me. It's a really lovely story about Gobelino, whose mum is a witch's cat called Grimalkin, and his sister Sutica. And Gobelino has one white paw and pure blue eyes, and he doesn't want to be a witch's cat. He wants to be a kitchen cat. So he wants to kind of go outside of his expected route. So I can't obviously read the whole book. It's by Ursula Moray Williams. But I thought I could maybe try and read a few paragraphs, and you can see what you think. It's got a lot of Halloween memories for me, and it's just, remember when I got this book, it was given to me in the dark pink and everything. To me, it was just magical. So anyway, we'll just look at a few paragraphs. I think even with copyright, that's okay. One fine moonlight night, little Gobelino the witch's kitten and his sister Sutica tumbled out of the cavern where they had been born to play at catch-a-mouse among the creeping shadows. It was the first time they had left the cavern, and their round eyes were full of wonder and excitement at everything they saw. Every leaf that blew, every dewdrop that glittered, every rustle in the forest around them set their furry black ears a prick. Did you hear that, brother? Did you see that, sister? I saw it, and that, and that, and that. When they were tired of playing, they sat side by side in the moonlight, talking and quarrelling a little, as witches' kittens will. Oh, this is just amazing. I'm sorry, I love Goblino, and I urge you to read this book. I think that Ursula Morey Williams was a very successful author for many years. I think probably not so well known now, but if you and your children like sort of slightly spooky stories but with a good moral, I think you would like her books. So Goblino the Witch's Cat is a very nice book. Okay. On a slightly more weird note, my boiler stopped working today, which isn't ideal. It's weird. I've had it looked at so much when there was that big flood in the summer and they came and replaced all the parts and stuff. Oh dear, what a noise. You'd think it was like practically a new boiler. Oh, let's move this. Yeah, you'd think it was practically a new boiler, but it's got an error pressure there needs to be repressurized, and I've tried to switch the dial and stuff and it's not worked, so they're going to come on Thursday, which isn't bad, but it's funny. I mean, it's when the weather gets really cold that you really, in the evenings, you want your boiler. Such is life, I suppose. Hello friends, it's late in the day. I'd forgotten to do the Halloween countdown calendar, so I'll quickly pull something out. If there is anything in this one. Oh, wow. Okay, after all that, there is nothing in 21. Cool. Right. Just a little look at my sun and moon candle that I made last week. It's in pride of place. And, may it be the beginning of many candle making projects in this house. Hello, Cookie. Hello, darling. You're lovely, aren't you? You're sitting beside Mummy. Oh, you've got a little bald patch on your neck. The vet's pleased with you. Oh, you're a good boy. What a lovely purr. What a lovely purr. I was upset because Cookie wouldn't eat breakfast. But then he rallied round. Oh, it's almost Halloween. I have my luminary, and the light in here is really weird. And then I have my last Halloween cake. Okay, time for Annabelle. Hello friends. So it is actually the morning of Halloween now. And foolishly or not, I've ordered a desk from a charity shop to be delivered today. So I can't really, because I don't have my doorbell working yet, I can't really go from the front door or anything because I might miss the desk arriving. So I've got the last few doors of my Halloween countdown calendar to open. So I will just open them and we'll see what the final gifts were. I've got behind with this too. Go figure. Okay, right. Let's have a lookie. Last three open little doors. Okay. Right. Oh, so this one has another ghosty face, kind of reverse. Oh, and a little sort of dark ghost. Okay. Then the one that should have been yesterday has got another little kind of castle spooky house. Okay, and then this one has got another one of these little spiders with a hat. So that's it. Absolutely nothing from Nightmare Before Christmas, as we said. It's worth trying. I think this company actually sells a lot of these countdown calendars on eBay. I saw they'd one with cats, like cat decorations. I bet all you get in them is like cats in this kind of little flat disc thing. So anyway, I mean, I've enjoyed this setup in my front hall. I've loved the purple. It's very rich looking. I've liked my light and the different red flowers I've had. So that's been a success. I don't know if I'll do a countdown calendar next year. I think I will expect to pay quite a lot of money for one if I do, but we'll see. Anyway, happy Halloween, everybody. It's here. Hello, friends. Well, happy Halloween. Finally, it's here. I'm feeling an absolute mess. I stayed in all morning because I was supposed to be having a desk delivered, and I didn't even have a shower because I was a little bit late getting up. I thought as soon as they've delivered the desk, I'm going to go to the shower. Anyway, got to about 1:30. They hadn't delivered it. I called them up. They said they thought they were coming tomorrow. So because I don't have my doorbell working yet, I've just sat in my front room all day for nothing. I have so much to do. So now I took Cookie to the vet. His results were very good. That was good. But, you know, everything was kind of in a mess then. So after we got back from the vet, they then did deliver the desk, which was lovely. But everything was all higgledy-piggledy because, you know, you clear everything out the way so that they can deliver a piece of furniture. So I kind of wanted everything to be really nice and serene. I just kind of put on a faintly Halloweeny looking top. You can sort of see it's got a skeleton. I've carved the roughest pumpkin of my life. It's outside on the door. I've got sweets in the jar. I'll show you. So things are looking okay, but it's not kind of as nice as I would have liked. But hey, you know, it's here. I've had one trick-or-treater so far, and they were very nice, and hopefully now the rest of the day will go smoothly. So fingers and everything crossed. Okay, friends, here's some of my Halloween candy in my basket from Nadine. Got some Halloweeny background on, but I can't have the music on because of copyright. And I've got all my plushies and my candles on, as they've been on since the beginning of September. Got my little bear here in the wizard hat, and then my mantelpiece is all looking kind of nice. So thankfully I did get there in the end. Hallelujah. I just wish it had been a little bit less stressful today. But, you know, next Halloween will maybe be smoother. Fingers and everything crossed. Okay. Next year I have to have my doorbell working. That would really help. So anyway, sufficient unto the day is the goodness thereof. Hopefully the rest of the evening will be very smooth. No problems. Okay. You see what I mean? At least I've got one. That's something. Okay, I think maybe I've got some more trick-or-treaters coming. Okay. Well, friends, I think I've had my last trick-or-treater. And it's a lot less than in North London. I really bought too much candy, but it's okay. It's okay. I'll just put it in the cupboard and try and ration myself. It's been a really lovely Halloween sort of whole month of doing stuff. And I'm really grateful. Yes, I'm grateful to be in my new house and to have had things go as well as they did. It's been good. I don't know, I'm just rambling on as I frequently do. I'm probably going to head off to bed now, and it'll be interesting to see next Halloween how things are, and you know what's going to be what changed this year. Anyway, I will see you tomorrow because tomorrow is All Saints' Day and that's part of Halloweenmas. Okay. Good night. Happy Halloween. Hello, friends. Welcome to All Saints' Day. I've got a number of religious candles here. Hello, Cookie, which I've put up on my mantelpiece. As you can see, my Halloween things have gone. From what I understand, a saint can mean someone who is a famous saint of the Catholic Church, who has they have been canonized because they were a martyr to the Christian faith or did very, very great works. And in a broader sense, a saint can mean someone who's been baptized or someone who's just passed over to the other side. So I must say it's I'm finding that these candles and their aura is giving me, well, not their aura, but the feeling they're giving me is very, very peaceful. It's very soothing. I've been at work today, so my All Saints' Day plans have not really come to much, but this is the second day of Halloweenmas in the traditional sense of the word. And if I pan down gently here, you can see that I've covered up the gap in my mantelpiece with my with my saint pin board. And I have not managed to clear away all the Halloween things because I had work today, but most of them are gone. And I must say, it is very, very peaceful. Tomorrow I have a free day, so I'm planning to do a lot more sort of things that are related to All Saints and All Souls Day. I mean, not endless things, but that's my plan. Today was a bit sort of taken up with work. So just one thing I will say. That's a lovely Mexican statue of Mary. Oh, it's beautiful. I got these two red candle holders at the church where they have the fresco of the Last Supper in Milan. And it's awful, but I can't remember the name of that church there, but I got them there. And I remember I was in tears when I finally saw the Last Supper. So there we go. It's my short feeling about Saints' Day. And I must say it's making me feel peaceful, but I shall be back with you tomorrow. And I'm sorry for rambling on. So happy Saints' Day. Hello friends, welcome to All Souls Day. It's the Sunday after Halloween. I must say there is a tremendous peace in the air. As you know, I love Halloween, but clearing away all the decorations and things, it has made a peaceful feeling. Yeah, it's sad it's over, but I'm also pleased to be going on with the year, and I'm really kind of enjoying the feeling I got from All Saints' Day. It's nice to like move on from Halloween to something else that's just completely different and very uplifting and peaceful, and I kind of wish I'd done this before. Today I'm going to just change my table setting in my dining room, and I'm also going to watch a DVD. It's called The Star of Bethlehem, which I think shows if there's scientific evidence for the star on the night of Jesus' birth. So it's partly science, but it's also partly, obviously religious based. I'm very new to All Saints and All Souls Day, so I'm kind of trying to do my best to honor the day and think about, those that have gone. Well, as you can see, friends, my table setting has changed. I've loved that cozy orange glass over the last few months, but it's gone now. And I have got pink kind of in damson and purple. Here's my little snack for today. It's a Japanese little biscuit called P-Joys. I'll open them up in a minute. And as it is All Souls Day, I've got a mug here of my tea, and it has me and my mum on it, and I gave it to her for Mother's Day a number of years ago. We had gone to the Peggy Portion bakery in Chelsea as a big treat, so for her Mother's Day gift I had this photo of us put onto a mug. So there we are, thinking of you, Mum and Dad, and all those dear people who have passed away on All Souls Day. Not that I don't think about them every day. Okie doke. It's always nice to try something new. I got these at the Japan shop in Stratford, I think. Though I've seen them on Japanese vlogs, so there you go. Interested in that. Maybe I'll pull an angel. No, it's not an angel card here. It is a promise. A precious promise from the Word. My grandma had a promise box that she gave my mum, and apparently eventually it got broken. But basically the promise box contains verses in the Bible that are God's promises to all of us. And I wish I could have seen the one my grandma gave my mum, but it got broken, as I say. So a number of years ago, I bought this in the Salvation Army gift shop in Oxford Street in London, when they still had a gift shop. It was a lovely gift shop. I wish it was still there. So I'll open it up and I'll just pull a promise. Okay. So it says, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. For the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." Joshua chapter 1, verse 9. That's beautiful. Well, friends, here is a picture of my mum that was in the Glasgow Herald. And my Aunt Jane clipped this article years ago, kept it, and then with the advent of more advanced printing and things, she had this printed off and made into a piece of wall art for me that I really treasure. My mum was one of the first women in Scotland to have her own business. She ran employment agencies and placed people in jobs and was very good at it. And she only gave up her business when she had me. She had thought she might be able to carry on, but when I arrived, she thought, no, it's all about baby, no business, and she just got rid of her businesses and closed them down. Above my mum's picture, I have a little sketch I bought at the Picasso Museum in Antibes that I gave her as a gift. This is just my mum's taste. She's truly elegant. None of the kitsch stuff that I like was she interested in. So that was an interesting dynamic between us. Don't know what this picture is in the background. Looks like it's a kind of landscape. But anyway, today, I always remember my mum and dad, but this is just a very forcible reminder that I have of her every day. So that's one thing anyway. I'm enjoying my tea. These little stick biscuits are really nice. They're taste of jasmine and they're very refreshing. So I've really got to stop having so much sugar. I would say I've had a kind of rough year and I feel I kind of deserve a little treat in the evenings and stuff. But really it's got to stop because I am gaining weight, and we all know sugar isn't good for you. It's just been a rough year. But I'm going to have to look into healthier snacks or really, really rationing my sugar intake. I remember one point I was eating too many crisps and I just rationed myself down to having one bag of crisps every 2 weeks. When I would go to visit my sister, I'd have some crisps and a cup of tea on the train to go and see her. Those were the only crisps I had. And that did make a difference. Apparently, when you eat a bag of crisps, you're having a whole cup of oil. So there you go. I also get potato bakes sometimes, but I can't believe those are really nutritionally very good for you either. When I think today of All Souls Day, I found out in the last few years that a number of people whom I was at school with, secondary school with, and also a young lady I was at college with, that they've died really very young. I think the friend I had at college, she died I think in 2010, which was a great shock to me. I didn't know it. And I had two friends from school. One of them apparently died when they were 18 and I had never heard about it. One of them had died in their 30s of skin cancer. And it was such a shock. And then I had another friend from school who also had like a brain tumor. And they died, I think, in like 2005 or something. Again, only by the internet or by someone randomly telling me did I know. Now, one of the difficult things for me is that with regard to some of these friends, I actually ended up not getting on with them very well, which was why for many years I hadn't seen them. But I was so shocked that they have died young because, notwithstanding the fact our personalities didn't clash, they clashed a bit. They were good people, very talented, wonderful people. They should have had a full life, and it's very hard to have faith that this is somehow in God's plan. Why should these people not have a full life? And then I kind of also regretted that, maybe with a few of them, as I said, I parted rather kind of rockily. When I look back, I don't really feel I could have done anything different with the understanding and awareness that I had, and the fact that I will say at least one of them was really a very difficult personality. Maybe they were already unwell. Maybe some of the slightly irrational things that a couple of these friends did were partly because their health wasn't good and they were making poor decisions. I don't know whether you should track down people that you've fallen out with in the past and try and make amends with them. I think maybe it's better to just leave them to have their space. But I would say if my paths crossed those friends, if my path had crossed my friends, I really think with the awareness I have now of my age, I would have tried to be kind and pleasant and just make it clear that whatever was past was in the past and it didn't matter. It's a real shock. The other week I was in a charity shop. I need a new desk. I think I've mentioned the saga of the desk being delivered, and I went into this charity shop and I saw really quite a nice desk. In a future video I'll show it to you. And it was only like £40, which is probably what I can manage. And I got the desk, and just as I was looking at the desk, my friend's favourite song came over the tannoy. They were playing Marillion's Kaylee, and this was this friend's absolute favourite song, and she's the one who had a brain tumour. And it really, some people say that they think like there's a spiritual influence, that spiritual beings can put music on the radio to remind you of them when they want to be reminded of them. I'm not sure if that's true, but I must say the music has that power to take you back to that time and place when you were with that person. And I'm happy to think there were a lot of good days, and this friend was sometimes really kind to me. I remember I had a tutor who was making sexual advances to me, making me very scared. And I just thought it was so ridiculous because I felt so plain and ugly. And I thought, no one will believe this man is making advances to me. And this friend said, tell your mother. Just tell your mother. And I did. And my mum believed me and called my friend's father, or her parents, spoke to them. And the father was a doctor, and he said, you just need to cut off any contact with this tutor. And my mum was like, well, they are a good tutor and Kate needs the lessons. Maybe if I just pop in and out of the room, he'll stop kind of making advances. And this my friend's father said, well, what's more important, your daughter or this teacher and these classes? And my mum said, well, my daughter's more important. And she cancelled that tutor and I got a different tutor. And I was very relieved because I was starting to feel really cornered by this really very unpleasant man. Shouldn't hate people. I don't hate him, but he was kind of ruthless, as all predatory people are. When I look back at myself now, I can say, even though I had glasses and pigtails, I was really pretty young girl and really ripe meat for someone like that. So I thank my friend for giving me that wonderful advice. I thank her for all the kind things she did before we kind of fell out. With my friend at college also, I wish you every peace, and I'm so sorry to all of these people, friends, that they did not have a longer life. They should have done, and it's been a shock to me. But it's good on All Souls Day to just remember those people and wish them well, and be grateful for what you have. Like, I've sometimes got very depressed this year thinking about all the mess I'm in and what's going to happen and blah, blah, blah. I'm worried I'm farther away from London and all the rest of it. I am lucky. I'm here and I have work and I have friends and I have lovely family and, so much to be grateful for. And so these friends passing, I'm going to try and write down maybe and appreciate more fully what they gave me. My friend at college, she would often make me laugh. She was very elegant. She had good advice about fashion, and it's terrible that they are gone. But as I say, it just teaches you to be grateful for what you have and to remember those who have passed with kindness and gratitude. And yeah, that's something that All Souls Day has already given me. Even just the first time I really properly observed it. So I'm grateful to All Souls Day for that. And later on I will be watching the Star of Bethlehem and thinking a little bit about Christmas, not right away, but a little bit. And maybe now I will go and take the Halloween things off the table. Well, not so much Halloween, kind of my fairy pumpkin houses and things, and put on a more autumnal, more Saints' Day feeling table setting. Okay, right. Oh, here's where my Haunted Mansion plaque was. It did not get to be up for very long due to my taking a long time to find it and put it up. So instead of that, I have now put up a pretty angel, slightly scary looking angel, for Saints' Day and possibly for Christmas too. I love angels. I love the effect of angels. She's got a lovely shell basin, which reminds me of going to Margate this year. So anyway, let's go on with the table. Hello friends, well here is my formerly Halloween table from my tea party last week, which this tablecloth is actually a big pashmina, but it's wonderful for autumn. I might use it again in November. It's so warm and cozy looking. But today, some time for something lighter and a bit more sort of spiritual for Saints' Day. So I'm now going to put my fairy pumpkin houses back in the fairy shed and clear away everything and start again. Okay, quickly. So now I've taken away the brown and put on sort of you can see it here, it's a purple sort of satin cloth and then a lace cloth on top, which I hope will be sort of soft and gentle looking. Now try some candles. Hello again, friends. I have taken my angel, which is normally beside the TV, and brought her through here because of the religious nature of it. And then I've put some cream candles, and then also I've got these 3 little houses, which are maybe a bit more like Christmas, but to me, All Souls Day is about home and about family and about remembering those people that have passed. So that's why I put them there. I'll keep trying. I'll come back to you in a minute. Well, now I've added a little lilac vase. Maybe that could actually go like here, maybe. And I've just had a very simple white plate with a cream napkin and pink bow. And then this, again, rather more autumnal looking side plate. The table looks a bit empty. I think I do need a few flowers and a little bit of fruit on the table as well. I mean, it's not perfect. I wish I had some more angels to put on the table. I probably do have some angel things in amongst my Christmas decor, but I don't know where they are. But it is got a quite different feeling from the Halloween tables that I've done and the autumn tables. So maybe what I'll do now is I'll go and I will get some flowers and a bit of fruit for the table, and we'll see how that looks. Okay. Well, hello friends. I think I've now more or less finished my All Saints Day table. As I said, I wished I had some more sort of angel figures or slightly, something a bit more, I don't know, just more appropriate. But I like the purple and the cream. I'll just pan over the table. Yes, I've got just white and cream. I put a little white flower in the purple vase. I found that my tea lights were too big for 2 out of 3 of these little houses. I think the one on the left is a church actually. Only the one in the right would my tea lights fit into. Then I just got some grapes and pears, which are much needed as a health boost. And I've got some cream candles I've had for years. And my TV angel, who is very sweet. She's now here. And then I just got some chrysanthemums and baby's breath. I realised why I don't use this vase very much. It's because it's quite hard to fill it up. It's really a very, very big vase. But it's nice. I mean, it could be better. I wish I'd bought more baby's breath, actually. That would have filled out the vase better. But still, it's better than nothing. And in fact, it's a lot better than nothing. And it has a quite different vibe from last week. So there we go. I think maybe now I will prepare some lunch. I have a friend coming as well, so hopefully they'll be impressed with my simple pasta. And we will have a Saints Day lunch, and then I will come back to you after lunch and we'll do a little bit of Saints Day activities. Okay. Hello friends. Well, you can see behind me my Halloween decals. First time I've ever done the Halloween decals. I've really enjoyed them. They've made me feel so cozy and atmospheric at night. They've been lovely, but it is Saints Day today. No, today is Souls Day. Saints Day, yesterday I was working all day, so they should have come down yesterday. Now I'll have to take them down, but then I will try to put up something different, which is a bit more appropriate. Okay, let's see. Hello everyone. Well, that took a depressingly short time. I've just noticed I've still got my sort of Halloween mugs here, well, some of them here. So I will probably just pack those away as well. I mean, like this one I could just keep out. Gilmore Girls one, it's still kind of an autumn feeling, isn't it? But I think maybe to enjoy them more, I'm going to pack them away till next September and just use some of my other mugs in the time being. Okay. So I'm rather hoping I could maybe use a few of those decals again, despite the fact I wasn't crazy about them when I first had them. I did actually get to really like them, and so I will try and put them away, and we'll see next Halloween if they will go up again, and I might get a few more to try and ring the changes a bit. Well, we'll just see. Okay, now in their place, I tried to see if there were sort of more religious decals, and I did see one on Amazon that said "Fallen to Jesus," and it had a lovely picture of Jesus and some more sort of uplifting themed things. But I thought, well, we are going to go into Christmas pretty soon, so maybe I'll do the "Fallen to Jesus" one next year. Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, I did find a few religious themed decals and a sticker that I can put up in the window for now, which I think will go into Christmas as well. So I'll put those up now, then I'll show you up close what they look like, and hopefully they will be good. Okay, well, it's not so much, of course. There actually isn't so much available. I will try and get some Christmas decals in a little bit of time, but let's go up close to what I have here. It's just the dove of peace saying peace on earth, which feels very appropriate for today. Then I did find a little sticker of an angel on a moon, which I thought was sweet. I don't think, when I take that sticker down, I don't think I can reuse it unless I decoupage it onto something. Whereas apparently the peace on earth decal, it can be taken up and put down as many times as you like. And then here, I just have a little Perspex angel, which I picked up at a charity shop, which just looks very pretty with the light coming through it. And that's just hanging up from the window handle. So it's a lot simpler. I'll switch off the ring light just so we can see it better. Okay, it's a bit darker now, but it's a bit clearer. And obviously, as I said, I'll change my mugs around for the mug tree. But yes, and the angel, you can't see it very well. Anyway, peace on earth is very clear, and the angel is clear. So that's nice. It's just my first time really trying to do Saints and Souls Day, so I'll probably think of more things for next year. Okay. Hello friends. Well, I just thought I would now move on to some of the activities and books that I was going to try and use to add to my understanding of Saints' Day, and I'll show them to you in a minute. I was looking again at this Bible promise I looked at earlier about being strong and courageous. Do not be afraid, do not be discouraged. I must say, I felt afraid a lot this year. You know, sometimes you just look into the week ahead and you think, well, what's going to happen? You know, what next, or how will I deal with this, and whatever. So that's a really beautiful text, and I'll try and kind of remember that. And I've had this box of quotations from the Bible, the promises of God, for a long time, and obviously with the move and stuff, I lost them for a while, and I need to get better at pulling them out and being a bit more educated, because there's so much beauty in there. So, but for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Okay. Now I will turn the camera around and show you what I'm looking at today. Okay, so now if you are a bit new to All Souls and All Saints Day, I found this book on eBay, which I think it's like a 1970s book. There's really very little available that I could find on All Saints Day, All Souls Day. Halloween is mentioned in this book too, but less so. Look at that beautiful display of candles. It's just magical looking. This book has a lot of information about the origin of our festivals and why we do what we do. And there's a lot here. Here's this is a little story. I'll quickly read it. Okay. Jack was a lad who had no fear of the devil. He strolled to a crossroads at midnight to meet him. There they made a deal. Jack said, "Look, you just let me have 7 years full of all the fun I like, then you can come and take me down to hell with you." So Jack did just what he wanted for 7 whole years. But the devil didn't forget about him. He knocked on Jack's door and Jack let him in. Come in, said he. But before we set off for hell, Just reach up above the door and get that old shoe for me, could you?" The devil was happy to help. I wonder if the devil would be happy to help. He stretched up his hand and wham! Jack nailed the devil's hand to the wall. "I'll let you go," laughed Jack, "but you'll have to promise not to come for me any more." The devil promised. When Jack finally died, no one wanted his soul. Heaven refused him, and so did hell. "Be off with you," snarled the devil as he threw a ball of fire at Jack. So Jack just wanders, shining with his fiery glow. But he has his fun too. Be careful at night, don't follow his light. He likes to lead curious folk into a thick, sticky bog. Jack-o'-lantern Halloween stories came from ancient Ireland and were taken to America many years ago. Some of the stories tell the fate of people who follow the eerie dancing light that flickers over the misty marches, and the light is known as jack-o'-lantern. So it's not actually the jack-o'-lanterns that we think of as being pumpkins. Interesting. Okay. Well, this book, as I say, it has a lot about the different festivals. Oh gosh, it seems to be more. So this is the time to eat soul cakes and party treats, but some people serve them to the dead. Gosh. Right. Whew, there's a lot to learn. All Souls Day. Right. So it says on All Souls Day, there are many masses and a light for every soul. Now this ties in with my childhood. On Halloween, Irish people hollowed out turnips and set candles in them. This was to turn away demons who were afraid of the light. That's kind of what I was told. When the Irish came to America, they found that pumpkins made better lanterns than turnips. That's why we have pumpkin lanterns. Okay. Cozy fires were lit at Halloween to warm chilly rooms. Then the souls of dead ancestors might come home. Okay. There's a bit about bonfire night. There's actually not so much for activities to do on All Souls and All Saints Day. But it's a very interesting book, and I wish I'd gone to church today, but obviously I couldn't have filmed it, but maybe next year I'll do more. Okay. So here I have a little book I also bought on the internet called Angels, Faith and Prayers, and it's a kind of spiritual activity book. I would say that to me this book feels a bit AI generated. Now I'm sorry if a person actually did do this, but it seems like they've just assembled different poems, and there's a lot of stickers and things about Bible verses. It's a nice book. Okay. For he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways. Proverbs 9:11. That's lovely. There's a lot in this book. As you may know, if you're a fan of the channel, I like colouring in, and I think there is some colouring in this book. Ooh, let me come back to you in a second when I found some colouring in. Okay, here's a bit. Let your faith be bigger than your fears. That's nice. There's a sort of celestial pattern. There's lots. There's a nice Celtic cross. There's lots of stickers in the book, and I think you can either use the stickers by putting them into the places in the book that they could go, or you can just use them for projects and things. So I'll try and do a tiny bit of colouring in, then I must go and watch that film about the Bethlehem Star. This is already the longest video I've ever done. Oh, who knew? Okay, right, back in a minute. Okay, I've now done a tiny bit of colouring in on this page. And it is very peaceful. When you concentrate on doing anything like this, it is very calming because you have to concentrate, and that takes your mind off other things. I'll try and do a few of the stickers, then I'll go and watch my Bethlehem Star movie. Okay. Well, friends, I could not find out where the stickers were supposed to go in the book. It was just too complicated. So what I did was I copied out the Bible verse that I pulled from the tin today, from Joshua, and I just added some stickers to it. This is a special scrapbook that I keep. If I turn over the front page, you know, I've just, when I have different reflections and different thoughts, I will add to this book. So I just put it in there. And now, finally, I'm going to have a cup of tea and watch the Bethlehem movie. And I'm sorry this video is so long. Okay. Okay, the Star of Bethlehem movie. And feeling very blessed. And looking forward to it, and I'll see you at the end.
Well, the stars in the Bible, so I'm good with it. I don't worry about it. But there are other people who have a more critical attitude towards the star, and they read the story and they say, "Wait a minute, that star is described as doing."
Hello, friends. It's dark now. It's been a long day. It's been a long video. I really enjoyed the movie Bethlehem the Star. Very, very interesting account of the astronomy around the time of Jesus' conception, birth, and also crucifixion. The gentleman who's done all this research has done an exhaustive job, and it is really, really amazing. And I feel very privileged to have seen this. He's taken his work all over the world. So that was amazing. The only slight issue I took with him, at one point he said that the three wise men, the Magi, might be magicians, and therefore they kind of might be bad people. And I'm feeling like, well, the Magi visited Jesus, they brought him gifts, they didn't betray him to Herod, and they saw him in dreams. Well, I think they were good people. I think sometimes Christians just over kind of think things. They go a bit extra, you know. Okay, well, I have to finish this video. Thank you so much. I don't know who will finish and watch to the end of this video, but happy All Saints and All Souls Day, happy Halloweenmas. And I next year will try and do better and do more. And I hope you've enjoyed this video and have a lovely week. Goodbye.